Have you ever stopped to think about how far a narcissist would go to hold on to their power and control? What if their ultimate goal isn't just to dominate you, but to erase you from existence, piece by piece, until nothing of you remains? Today, we're exploring a painful but vital topic: how narcissists can drive their victims to the brink, and sometimes even to the point of no return. Come with us as we uncover the shocking truths behind this destructive behavior. What you'll learn may change how you see relationships forever. If this resonates with you, please take a moment to like, subscribe, and share this video. Your support helps us reach others who may be silently suffering and gives them the strength to fight back. For narcissists, life revolves around image and control. They create a version of themselves that demands admiration, fear, or envy, and they depend on others to uphold that illusion. Beneath that polished surface, however, lies a fragile sense of self that can shatter with the slightest criticism or rejection. This is what psychologists call a narcissistic injury, and to them, it feels like a full-scale attack on their very identity. In response, they lash out, not randomly, but with intent. They use manipulation, guilt, blame, and psychological warfare to regain control. And in the most extreme cases, they may even try to remove the person who threatens them altogether. Sometimes they do this by driving their victim into despair so deep that suicide seems like the only escape. To the narcissist, this isn't just about hurting someone, it's about silencing a threat and rewriting the story in their favor. Afterward, they'll often portray themselves as the true victim, soaking up sympathy and strengthening their grip on those around them. The road to this kind of destruction is rarely direct. It starts small, with subtle jabs, emotional twists, and constant undermining. Bit by bit, the victim loses trust in themselves, their judgment, and their worth. These are not random events. They are parts of a larger plan to dominate, isolate, and ultimately destroy anyone who dares to challenge the narcissist's illusion of perfection. There is a sneaky trick that narcissists use called gaslighting. By changing the truth, they make the person they're after question their own memories, views, and even their sanity. This kind of psychological abuse can begin with small things that don't seem like much, like denying something that happened or using subtle language in a way that makes no sense. But it gets worse over time. The victim starts to doubt their own mind and thinks they are living in a different world that the narcissist made up. The victim feels more and more dependent on the narcissist to tell them what is real and what isn't, because they are always asking them. Another trait of narcissists is that they hurt others emotionally. They slowly destroy their victim's self-esteem by constantly criticizing, putting down, and invalidating them. They often say things like constructive feedback or honest opinions to hide their true goal, which is to make the victim feel less confident and less worthy of respect. Over time, the target internalizes the abuse, believing the narcissist's mean words and seeing themselves as to blame for the unhealthy dynamics in the relationship. This self-blame is a powerful tool for the narcissist because it keeps the victim stuck in a loop of trying to get their approval while also feeling like they don't deserve happiness or support. A big part of the narcissist's plan is to keep everyone else away. They carefully cut their target off from family, friends, and other people who could help them. Isolation can be done in overt ways, like not letting the victim talk to certain people, or in more subtle ways, like making the victim's friends fight or not trust each other. As the victim's ties to the outside world get weaker, their need for the narcissist gets stronger. This makes them feel even more trapped, because they think there is no one else they can turn to for help or approval. Triangulation and smear tactics make the victim feel even more alone and hopeless. By setting up other people against the target or telling lies about them, the narcissist creates an atmosphere of constant tension and mistrust. People who believe the narcissist's lies may turn against the target, including friends, coworkers, and even family members. These feelings of isolation make it even harder for the victim to leave the bad relationship, because they make them feel even more useless and hopeless. Another terrible thing narcissists do is withhold love and care. They treat love and praise like goods that can be given or taken away, depending on how well the victim does what they want. This lack of consistency makes the target feel unsafe and helpless, and they spend all their time trying to win back the narcissist's approval. The target feels unbalanced and always on edge because of the ups and downs of their emotions in this situation. The effect of all of these strategies together is very strong. People who are abused by narcissists feel alone, lost, and completely reliant on them for any sense of security or worth. When a narcissist's manipulation is at its worst, the victim may already feel so lost and worn out that they think there is no way out. This is exactly what the narcissist wants: a target who is too hurt to fight back or show what kind of person they really are. For narcissists, making their target feel this way isn't just a way to get what they want. It's a way to show how powerful they are. They think they are above everyone else and have control over their victim's life. As much as the narcissist and the victim want to feel powerful, this fantasy comes with a high price. The victim is in unbearable pain, but the narcissist stays stuck in their circle of manipulation, unable to make real connections or find true happiness. Their acts show how empty they are, as they try desperately to fill a void that can never be fully filled. Narcissists see it as an attack on their sense of control and power when a victim takes care of themselves or heals. If a narcissist sees proof that a victim can regain their freedom or fix the problems they caused, they feel like they have failed very badly. This idea of failing is very scary to their ego because it threatens their carefully built illusion of being better and more powerful. The narcissist can't stand the thought that someone might not want to be controlled by them, or that their plans could be undone. For them, the victim getting better means that the narcissist's power and authority are being ignored, which makes them very angry and often illogical. This feeling of rejection hits them right in the gut, making them feel ashamed, angry, and like they need to punish the target for what they see as theft. When a narcissist feels betrayed, they not only hurt the target, but they also try to get rid of them from their life completely. They erase things to show that they are still in charge and to keep up the appearance that they can't be harmed. Narcissists have a skewed view of the world. They believe that anyone who tries to reject them or question their authority will be punished by not only suffering, but also being emotionally and mentally wiped out. The narcissist must make the victim feel like they don't matter and take away their freedom, healing, and authority. As a result of not having any real humanity, narcissists can't stand it when their victims get better. Narcissists often can't really feel what other people are feeling, which lets them justify and ignore the harm they cause. They don't see the victim as a person with their own thoughts, feelings, and rights because they can't really understand or care about the pain they cause. Instead, they see the victim as an extension of themselves who only exists to meet the narcissist's needs. People who are narcissists don't see others as people with worth in and of themselves. They see them as tools, objects, or ways to get what they want. Whenever a target stops being useful or starts to question the narcissist's behavior, the narcissist will devalue or get rid of them. The narcissist doesn't feel bad about hurting someone. They don't see any reason to care about their well-being when they are no longer useful to them. In the narcissist's eyes, the victim is no longer useful and should be thrown away. Their emotional needs should be overlooked or completely disregarded. The narcissist's strong and often unjustified envy of their victim is another strong drive behind this harmful behavior. The narcissist can't stand to see qualities in others that they themselves don't have, like kindness, resilience, truthfulness, or the ability to connect with others in a real way. These are qualities that the victim may have in abundance. In secret, a narcissist wants these traits, but can't bring themselves to develop them because they would mean being vulnerable and thinking about themselves, which is something they will do anything to avoid. The narcissist projects their own feelings of not being good enough onto the target instead of facing these flaws and working to improve them. They will try to convince themselves and others that the target is flawed, weak, or unworthy by putting all of their own fears and doubts on them. The narcissist starts to think that the victim is someone who deserves to be punished or retaliated against, instead of someone who has worth in and of themselves. This projection isn't just mean, it's also a way for the narcissist to keep themselves from having to face the painful truth about themselves. Through projecting their own insecurities onto the target, the narcissist can avoid facing their own problems and weaknesses. This defense strategy in the narcissist's mind lets them keep living in a world where they can believe they are perfect and better than everyone else. It keeps them safe from the crushing shame and self-doubt that would otherwise threaten to break down their weak sense of who they are. The narcissist can keep blaming the victim instead of looking at their own flaws and faults. This way they can keep the fragile bubble of superiority they have built around themselves. In their minds, the victim's flaws give them permission to treat and devalue them badly, while their own flaws stay hidden and will never be talked about or recognized. Figuring out why the narcissist does what they do is important, but so is spotting the signs that they are behaving badly. These steps will help you stay safe if you or someone you know is dating a narcissist. Set boundaries. Be clear about what kind of behavior you will and will not accept. Narcissists love crossing lines, so it's important to be steady about doing so. Get back in touch with the people who can help you. Talk to trusted family, friends, or support groups. Isolation is one of the most powerful tools a narcissist has, and making new links can give you much-needed strength and perspective. Get professional help. Therapy can be very helpful for figuring out how to deal with a selfish partner and regaining your sense of self. Write down what they did. If you need to get legal or professional help, keeping track of violent behavior can help. Make self-care a priority by doing things that are good for your physical and mental health. It's harder for the ego to hurt your confidence when you're strong. Think about no contact. If the relationship with the narcissist is hurting you so much that it can't be fixed, ending contact with them may be your only choice. Thanks for joining us as we look into one of the worst things about selfish behavior. There's no doubt that this is a serious subject, but knowing these dynamics is the first step to healing and keeping ourselves and others safe. If you thought this conversation was helpful, please like, follow, and share it to help get the word out. We should keep helping each other get out of bad relationships and take back our power. Don't forget that you're not alone and that there is always hope for a better present. What do you think? Please share your thoughts in the space provided. We look forward to hearing from you. Take care and stay strong until next time.